I'm going to cycle through the settings here. You cycle through by just pressing on the bottom metal section right there. On the home screen, it gives you the time, and it closes out about 5 seconds. Gives you the time, your blood pressure, the date, and AM or PM at the top, and the battery. And then you can cycle through different settings as you're on there as well. I'll get to that in a little bit. So you can take your blood pressure. Last time I took it, it was 65 beats per minute. I'm going to just kind of let it sit. And there it just updated to 66, 65. So it ranges. There's little sensors on the back of the unit that are constantly cycling through it. And the next screen is your blood pressure. And this one takes a little bit of time, so I'm going to let it kind of just sit there until it takes my blood pressure. And while we're waiting, there's other different things you can set while you're in your phone through the app that's required to synchronize between the watch and your phone. And you can play with the different settings on there. It's pretty intuitive. It's still gathering the data from the sensor on the back of the watch. And there it took it, so 122/75. And then there's different modes on here. You can go through training. You can configure your SMS texting or your messaging on here. And then you go through different settings on here. I believe you long press to get into that. Yeah, so info, reset, find me. You can set your brightness. A lot of these are configurable through the application itself, though, on the phone. So those are the two core ones right there, the core functionalities other than time on here. Is the blood pressure functionality and the heartbeat per minute and the blood pressure functionality on there. Otherwise, it's constantly recording your steps through the application, through the sensor on here. It's recording your fitness. You can set how many, like a goal that you want per day. I set mine to 5,000 initially, but you can set it as high as you want to. So we'll go over a couple more of the settings. Here in the app, just to record some data, I did a couple of steps already, walking around the house, and there's my blood pressure monitor. And I'm sorry, the beats per minute for the heart rate, and then the blood pressure. It automatically syncs the data as long as you have set your phone up properly. Initially, when you connected your smartwatch to the phone app, one of the things I just did a moment ago, by default, this was on the Celsius. I'm in the United States, so I'm changing it to Fahrenheit. But it automatically detected, the area that I live in. And as I keep using this throughout the day, I know that it will start gathering just tons and tons of information. It'll keep recording the heartbeat. Later tonight, when I wear it, it'll record my sleeping pattern. It'll keep recording blood pressure throughout the day. I believe it's a random interval. It could be every half hour, but it could be random. But there is also a bunch of different things here. You can do different monitorings for running. But there's an option for walking. There's an option for riding, and you can just tell it start that activity, and it'll monitor your activity for you while you're doing it. Of course, while you're wearing it, it's going to monitor it anyhow. But if you're specifically doing any of those activities, you may want to just go in there and start doing, choose, in this instance, running outdoors, and then just hit the start running button. So under device here, by default, this is how everything was set up. By default, the heart rate monitoring and raise hand to activate, which that means is I'm just going to raise up and you can see the watch turned on. It's going to turn off. I'm going to put my hand back down. I'm going to raise my hand back up, and it came back on. You can see. So that's what that setting does. But you can turn on call reminders if you wanted to. You can turn on different app reminders. A sedentary reminder, which basically is a reminder to you. Your phone will tell you, hey, you're not moving around enough. You should get up and move around and be active. If you wanted to set that on, you can set an alarm on there. You can also turn on the do not disturb option if you wanted to. I believe that's for when you're sleeping. If you were elsewhere out and about and you just didn't want to be notified of any activity from your phone to your watch. There's some universal settings in here. There's a fine bracelet function, and that actually just vibrated the watch on my wrist. Does it show anything when it does that? No, it's just a vibration. SMS Reminder, again, it's turned off by default. You can turn it on if you wanted to. On-screen time, you could actually set the delay on here. 5, 10, 15 seconds, whatever duration you want it to be. I did change this one a little bit ago. I don't really do 24-hour time system like the military does. So I've set it to a 12-hour system. Device language, it basically follows whatever your phone is set up to use. Firmware upgrade. By default, if the application developers and the smartwatch developers pushed out a firmware update through the app, it would actually do the update on there for you, but it's already detected that the expected firmware that it has as the most current is also what's already current on the watch. It was like that from the get-go. And then if you wanted to, like if you just wanted to stop using the watch and just clear all your parameters off of it, you could actually go to the clear data info right there and wipe all the data from your watch. And then finally, there's information up here. You can set up your own personal information. You can set up a training plan. You can set up your target steps. You can set up a plan for weekly activity. There's third-party access for different apps on there. It's just a bunch of different things you can go configure through on here. So, yeah, so pretty much that there's a lot of settings on here. I encourage you to go through all of them. I know I will. As I continue to use the watch, if I need to fine tune anything, I definitely am going to play around with getting SMS to work. But for the point of the video, I didn't want to have any of my personal text messages pop up. So that about does it for my review of this smartwatch and the GloryFit app. I'm looking forward to using this watch over the next couple of days, and I think everybody out there would enjoy using this watch as well. So get yourself one. Thanks.